my dad, get together with his brothers, and they take a group photo. This was like year in and year out. Every time we get together, family photo. Him and my like three uncles, they'd all be like on their tiptoes, like who can get the tallest in the photo. This is all the family photos.
Runs in the family.
Going back for a brother. We have a young man who has declared his freedom. He's given a date by when he will be out of the house. He's only 18, and he doesn't have a job. He doesn't have a business yet. And December 31st, he said. So he's got a good amount of time. But Hans and I were just talking about it, because we're considering going back to the U.S. In particular, well, first stop might be Utah, where my family is having a family reunion, especially for my father. And we thought, what if we go back for this young man? We show up outside his house, and we welcome him to come on the journey with us, come to Utah, come do business with us. He's already been supporting our podcast, helping us on the tech side. And
inspired by his announcement. Because
yes.
that, I think, is very powerful.
Yes.
A guy who says, I'm not out yet, but I'm getting out.
Yes.
I'm getting out.
Yes.
Getting out of this prison. I'm going to do it.
And the effect on us, him making his stand and declaring it is like, I feel the call.
Yes.
Let's go back for him. It's great. Like, what if more men did this, and then their brothers could stand, in many contexts. But I could almost tell my life story just in terms of going back for a brother. It's one of the things that excites me the most. Since I did it for my two younger brothers, I was just always, I don't know if it's because I did it for them, but yeah, I just, throughout the years, hear the call of a brother and then go on some epic journey to go back. And
you enjoy it?
Yes.
What is it there that you enjoy?
I don't know, man, it's one of the greatest things. I remember I did this one event, to remain anonymous for now, but because you're not really supposed to talk about what happens during the event, but this was actually after the event. So this was it just ended. And maybe it was, or just ending, but it's kind of this epic, it's not designed as like a teaching thing as much as an experience. And the man who had called me to go to this event, which was very much about brotherhood and whatever, I go through the kind of this I don't know, this last kind of ritual, and then I hear over the microphone, Skye, I've come back for you, and it's my buddy who I have no idea is even in the state, but he's flown out there to like welcome me in a way, like into the brotherhood or whatever. It was great, but to be able to, like, the way I felt about him, imagine what it feels like to be that guy and to show up for your brother, I don't know. I've had men show up for me to be that guy. Like I told you that story about escaping from my mom's house and going to live with my friend, like he took me in, and his dad was like fighting for me too, and
There was another story where you drive a car out to California.
Yes.
No? And then it breaks down.
Yes. Well, that, funnily enough, that was when I went back for my brother Dave. He'd gone to spend the summer with my dad and building his ranch out in Arizona. And he was writing me letters. This was back before the internet, really. And he's writing me. I'm getting these letters in the mail. He's like, "Help, my dad's trying to get me to go on a mission, Mormon mission." And I'm fine whether my brother goes or not. But if he doesn't feel like he can stand up and say no, if he's really a no or whatever, I just felt his call, you know.
Where were you at the time?
I was in Austin, Texas.
Okay. One state over.
No.
Arizona?
Yeah, there's Arizona, New Mexico, then Texas. But Texas is huge. It's a 16-hour drive just to get from Austin to the end of Texas.
I remember coming back from LA. We drove to Austin. It's just the Texas part never ends. It's crazy.
So I kind of dropped everything and I drove. I was in my truck, had a big camper on the back, and I might have been kind of homeless at the time, so it wasn't like I really had to drop everything as much as it might sound like. But I was like, I'm going for my brother. And so I take off and I drive there, and it's maybe 20 some hour drive, maybe 20 hours, 22. And I arrive, I remember like 3 a.m. in this small town in Arizona. And there was nothing open except like a laundromat. So I went into a laundromat. I was reading Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't know why that sticks out to me, but I was reading about like what a paradigm shift is. And that might bear no significance on the rest of my story, but an hour or two later, I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to show up at my dad's house. So I go to my dad's house and I try the front door and it's unlocked. So I go in and I'm like, no one's awake. I haven't woken anyone up. And I go into my brother's room, and he's snoring. And
hovering above his bed.
I decided I'm going to fuck with my dad. So I turned the big screen TV on full blast volume and then hide. And I can like see my dad. He's like, comes out, he's like, looks around, what's going on? Turns the TV off, goes back to bed. I do it 2 more times. And the second time, like I'm just standing there, it comes out and like, puts on the glasses. Michael? But, and then I just started going to work every day with my brother. I wasn't out there to tell him what he should do or anything. But I started, and I think my dad was somewhat not pleased that I was there. He was to have his son there, but in another way, he probably really wanted to influence my brother Dave and probably thought I could be a counter influence, which I kind of was. But 5:30 in the morning or earlier, my brother Dave would wake me up and I'd be grabbing my boots and something to eat for breakfast, and we'd be in the truck going out to the ranch, working in the sun all day. Oh man, it was an epic summer. I still remember the music. This was '94, summer of '94. Black Hole, sun.
Soundgarden.
Yeah, and we'd have the music playing throughout the day, working our asses off in the dead heat and doing some epic things. Like we had free reign, and we're building this fucking ranch, and we'd put up a line of fence, dig post hole, just hard work, man, great. And the rain, there were these they called them monsoons, because they would just fucking like epic, just dump, and then it would flood and like walk, fuck, and there was this one guy who was working with my brother Dave in the beginning, and he told me stories of this guy who I don't think he made it to, like, he got quit or something before I got out there to work with him. And I remember him telling me this one story of, his name was Daryl. For some reason I remember his name. I think we joked about it for the rest of the summer, like, because he was one of these guys who he needs an excuse, like to go home or to not work as hard or something. And my brother Dave tells a story. He came up to my brother and says, "Dave, I've got a blister, and it's like on his nose, My brother like looks at it. He's like, he wipes it off. It's sweat, man. Get back to work." And anyway, yeah, man, it's a great summer. And my brother Dave kept talking about California the whole summer. God, man, I just want to go to California. And I promised him like we'd go. You know, I don't think he had wheels out there. He didn't have a ride. I was like, Dave, we'll go. You know, end of the summer, we'll save up our money, we'll go. And I was 23 at the time. He was he would have been like 19. And so end of the summer comes. We get in my truck. We you know, we start going down like towards Phoenix and then across the desert. And my truck starts clanking, you know, clank, clank, clank. It starts getting louder and louder, and then clanking more and more. And we try to find a mechanic. It's early Saturday morning. There's no one open for some reason. Saturday or Sunday, I don't know. And my brother's like, you know, fuck, it's gonna break down. We're not gonna make it. I'm like, Dave, we'll make it no matter what. And I drove the truck. And right as we get up to Pacific Coast Highway in San Diego, the driving train falls out of it just falls out of the truck, just, and so there's no more, like, you can't even drive it anymore. And I just coast right into a parking spot on the side of the road. And that I had the camper on the back, and we slept there for 2 weeks, San Diego on the beach. But yeah, I don't know. Being the hero, you know, being the hero for a brother. I've got so many stories of that, and
it's the Legends of the Fall when Brad Pitt goes for his younger brother in the war, you know.
Ah, yeah.
Nah, just everything has to move, you know, because his brother lays dying, you know, he dies.
Wow.
He goes insane, but he's unstoppable, you know, he's shooting everyone. You know?
Does he find his brother before he's dead?
Yeah, but the brother is like his eyes are he doesn't see well, and he's in the wire, and the Germans are going to shoot him, and he's like, fuck no, and he tries to kill everyone, but his brother is dead.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a great scene, man. Great movie.
I don't really remember the scene, but vaguely remember the movie. But yeah, you know, there's so many movies like that, and you know, the military, Leave No Man Behind, and brotherhood, man. I think there's so many guys out there that don't have brothers, or if they had brothers, never really had like real brotherhood. And it's sad, man. It adds so much to life if you have that. And yeah, my brothers and I have had each other's backs so many times. My brothers have come back for me, you know. And so yeah, I think it's one of the big things for Ronin to reclaim. Mm-hmm. So I think of Ronin as these individual men out there who, you know, we have this kind of innate programming for however many thousands, tens of thousands of years as human beings living in tribes and everything else. We have certain like biological, neurological expectations of like connection and this and that. And one of the things I think we have is a desired expectation for brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And if it's missing, we feel something's missing. Even if we don't know what it is, there's a missing. Mm-hmm. And once we have it again, it's so rich. You know, but some guys they'll not have it for so long that to have it is painful. Mm. They can't handle the teasing, the shit talking, the competition that happens normally in a gang of brothers, in a band of brothers. It's they take it personally, or they or even to touch them if they feel pain. You know, there's guys I've known who like you touch them and it's painful to be touched. And I don't think it's not a biological thing, it's a neurological thing. And it's really sad,
right?
You know, to me. So
back to our friend here.
Yes.
I think that's great. Like even speaking to him, you know, if you're watching or hearing this.
Oh, he will be watching because he's going to edit the podcast.
You putting out the call. No, you putting out the announcement. I want to break free. You know, I'm getting out by the end of the year, and these are my weapons of escape.
He's put on his Instagram post, my weapons of escape, and he had visuals of like a shield and it's like podcast and a spear, and it's his other
Yes.
skill that he can earn money from, and yeah, it's
So
great.
because of the announcement, we got your back.
Yes.
We'll help you.
Yes. It's a great thing, to make a declaration, and I'm imagining forming like an online brotherhood and tribe of Ronin, and like this is what we do. We go back for our brothers.
Right.
We do this. We reclaim honor. We do that.
But I want to really say to guys listening and like thinking about like what can I do? That is so powerful.
Yes.
To just make the announcement.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything else. To commit to it and announce it to the world.
Yes.
That alone can change everything.
And you were talking about, you're talking about, I think, leaving home, declaring your freedom, right? Declaring, he's declaring his freedom from his father, who, to him, his father shows up as a tyrant right now, not like the noble king, but it's because he's at odds with his father, with authority for his own life. And that's great. Don't stay too long. Don't disrespect your father. It's time for you to go.
Right.
Declare your own sovereignty, and then make your way as a man in the world, and earn your father's respect, and then come back to him man to man and have that respect.
Right.
It's a great hero's journey to go upon, right? Go out into the wilderness, become a man, come back and meet your father man to man, as a man, and have that respect. That's a great hero's journey.
Yes.
Another hero's journey guys can go upon is to make a declaration of brotherhood. Go find a younger brother, especially, or an older brother, but a brother. And it doesn't need to be a biological brother. If you don't have a brother, you form your brotherhood by showing up as a brother, by declaring yourself a brother. Go find someone to go back for, a brother who's struggling. Brother, maybe he's going through divorce. Maybe he's an addict. Maybe he's just gotten out of prison. Maybe he's, whatever it is, go back for him. We have such, especially in the West, and especially in America, such an individualistic kind of sense of it's every man for himself in a way.
Right.
And man, if you want to have brothers in life, it's such an advantage. It's such a leg up. Like, guys want to get ahead. Young guys, you want to get ahead, and you're thinking about, let me go for my degree. Let me do this. Let me do that. Man, one of the best things you can do is join a brotherhood or form one, and you don't need to look for a brotherhood to join necessarily. You can start one. Be the brother. Be the guy that goes back for him. It'll come full circle, and it'll enrich your life, and it'll give you honor.
Right.
Every time you see that guy, you can remember who you were for him. And when they come back for you, every time you see them, you remember who they are for you. This is the honor work.
Right.
But we talk about declaring this and saying this and making vows like this, like who we are for our people, as a way to generate honor and to have a role of honor for our people. But another way to do it is to actually do the heroic action.
Right.
Make a sacrifice, go on an epic journey to go back for a brother.
I wish I never thought of it, but like growing up, I had sisters. I didn't have brothers, for one thing. And I always wanted brothers. Like I had this deep, I look back and I had this yearning for brothers and brotherhood, but I wished then I could see or have some idea of like what it could be to go back for a brother, that I could do it myself. I never thought of it.
Well, in a way, after you and Zan kind of parted ways, and there was that judgment and distance and whatever, you went back for him. The honor window and the call and you literally you went back, reached through the invisible walls of judgment of the Matrix. Put him through. It's great. It is. You went back for a brother in that way.
Yes.
And there's ways like you're coming back for me. Like I'm kind of, in a way, kind of lost in this la la land of just world travel and women and adventure and ease. You know, I don't need to come back to my honor work. I don't need to, whatever. And you keep calling me out, showing up. Let's go. Let's go, Mike Skye. So, yeah.
Antonio, we're coming back for you. You made the announcement. We see it as a call. And we got your back. Watch out the window in your California home.
Yeah, that would be fun, man. That would light me up to go show up in California to go get him, give him a ride out. But whether we do that or not, yeah, we are announcing that we're there and we're coming back to the States. You can come meet us, or we can come get you. And yeah, priceless to have brothers. Priceless. And I was with a new client yesterday, a man about 30 years old, and really a man of honor and integrity, and an entrepreneur. Like his father. His father died. His father was much older than him. His father died and left a business, and this guy didn't know anything about the business or how to do it or whatever. And he said, "I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to carry it forward."
At 23, I believe, no?
I don't know exactly how old he was, but yeah, something like that. And now, like, he's going back for a cousin who was like an older brother and a mentor for him. But the walls of judgment had come up. They had the conflict as warriors, and now he's making the evolution to chief, which is saying, I'm not going to settle for walls between my people. I'm not going to cast away my people. Even though we're fighting, even though there's judgment, I'm going to put my arm around my brother, and I'm going to call him to be a great man, call myself to be a great man. I'm going to lead us to glory, to rise up, not stand in judgment of who he is, and then we both become lesser men, which is what happens. If you navigate by judgment, you both become lesser. Even though in some ways it feels more powerful to judge them, you can look down on them, but it makes you both lesser men. And the evolution to chief is saying, you're all my people, and I'm not leaving you behind. And so he's going back for him, and it's a heroic journey. It's a hero's journey for sure. And that's what the honor work and the honor window work is designed for. Because often when the judgment walls are up, we feel no inner authority or desire or honor to go back for this person. That's what the honor window work can do, is restore that. You can feel it in your heart to desire to go back for him and see a vision for your future that wasn't there before, and then have the tools. And yeah, I love mentoring people through that process. It's truly heroic, and it changes. He's going to change that guy's life forever, and the destiny of their family forever by going back for him. It's courageous. It's epic, man. It's epic in the story of your people. It's a great thing, and I love getting to be like the Yoda as I train the Jedi to go back into the Matrix, and now I'm mixing movie metaphors. Train the Jedi to go
and the Star Wars is coming in. But it's Armageddon.
Yeah, and sometimes that's what it takes. Like, you might feel justified that you've left your brother behind. Cast him out of the family. Cast him out of your life. And you have every justification not to go back for him. And then you say, fuck it. You imagine his future if no one goes back for him. And if you become someone who just imagine, it's also your future. Who am I that I get in conflict with the people I love, and then I discard them from my life? Who am I for my people? There's no honor there. And you look to a future and it's suffering. And you're a lesser man, you know? And it's, yeah, so. Both of my younger brothers have come back for me, you know? They've been the one to show up in times of need. And it's great. And, yeah, brotherhood, man. Brotherhood. What if?
What if?
If you feel the call, reach out. You know, there's Jedi work, real Jedi level work for going back for your brothers.
See you tomorrow.